Hi everyone, super excited to have Roiann with us here today. Roiann's had and having an amazing wellness journey with us, and we just wanted to share lots of her wins and insights to hopefully inspire and help you all as well. So as always, if you're watching this with us live, please hashtag live. If you're watching replay, please hashtag replay.
So welcome, Roiann, and maybe you can start with a little intro just about yourself and about your journey.
Sure, absolutely. My name is Roiann, and I live in Houston, Texas. I'm married, and I have two daughters. I have an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I am a college professor. It's my job. I teach online, and so I have struggled with my weight pretty much my entire life, and have lost weight, gained weight, tried all the things, Weight Watchers, everything you can think of. I've tried it all, and I've just really struggled with um, having long-term success. And so I've lost weight, but I would get off track and not be able to get back on, and just a constant, never really having like a sustainable way of living. So I this summer I rewatched some documentaries that I had watched previously, like the What the Health, Forks Over Knives, and just something that has just kind of been like inside, like pulling me towards eating plant-based. And so I decided to do that. I did it on my own for about a month, and then randomly found y'all on Instagram. I just feel like you guys just popped in my phone. I wasn't looking for anything. You just popped up on my phone, and saw your program and started reading more about you. And when I started reading that Scott was into kickboxing, I'm like, okay, because I've been doing kickboxing for like 6 years. And then read that Vita was into yoga, and I'm super into yoga, love that. So I was like, okay, I need to talk to these people. So I talked to y'all and started the program, and I'm now on my second part of the program.
Amazing. And Roiann, what was your mindset like after, like you said, this history and years of trying things that were unsustainable, not working, maybe super restrictive? Were you kind of feeling pretty despondent and thinking, how am I going to get these long-term sustainable results? What's it going to take to do that? How were you mentally?
Yeah, I was pretty much I was at the lowest of the low at that point before I had reached out to y'all and talked to you. I, at that point, was considering weight loss surgery. And that's not something that I wanted to do, because I didn't really think, I was overweight, but like, I didn't think that I needed to go that far, but I was just feeling so low, like I just didn't know what else to do. And I thought, well, maybe, that's the only thing I could think of to do after trying all of these things. So
Wow.
I was at like rock bottom for sure.
So it's fair to say you were pretty desperate, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and it's interesting, Roiann, isn't it? Because you've been active even before starting working with us, right? You, like you said, you've been doing kickboxing for 6 years, and you always loved exercise. And even doing that was not really helping, right? Because something was missing.
Absolutely. I had played sports growing up, was active, and definitely, exercising was not a problem. Even sometimes when I would lose weight and I followed other programs, I had success for a little while, but it's just, yeah, something was missing, and it just wasn't everything that I needed.
Yeah,
for sure. And I think, yeah, what drew me most, and I think with kind of like the missing piece, honestly, was that mindfulness component that you all have in your program, because that really, it's all mental for me.
That's changed the game for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy you said it yourself, because I was about to jump on and just say the missing puzzle piece was work on the mindset, that inner work. And a lot of times we see again and again people focusing so much on exercise and nutrition, and that's two components which obviously are super important, but it's not the only components. And it's so interesting to see how people work on the external, but we all have internal world, right? We have emotions, we have feelings, we have traumas we have to deal with, we have beliefs, we experience self-limiting beliefs, we experience self-sabotage, and all these things are so big, but because they're not kind of being seen with a naked eye, like I can see my body, right? For some reason, maybe that's the reason that it's not that tangible, people don't pay enough attention. And I think yes, working with you and working on the mindset that absolutely changed everything for you. So it was so beautiful to witness. So maybe you can tell people, what does that mean to work on your mindset and incorporate mindfulness practices? How did you do that?
Yeah, what's been different this time to everything else you've tried in the past?
I think what's been different is just the way that you have the program organized is that each week you are doing a certain task, which to me,
Mhm.
honestly, I think has been my most favorite part because
Nice.
that's the area that I needed the most. And so each week we would do, some sort of task focusing on whether it's, helping with your negative self-talk
Mhm.
or meditation or, each week it was something different. So to me, that was really what was so beneficial because I focused on that for that week. I was either writing a journal, I was reading more books, all the podcasts that you send. It's just constantly surrounding myself with that information and those tools. And like over time, the more consistent that I've been with it, it's just it starts to get in, it starts to sink in. So those things have just been a huge game changer, especially for me. I had a big like aha moment. I think it was during the meditation week, I
Yeah.
believe. And I started to try do the meditation for the task, and it was just insane to me after doing it for such a short period of time, really only maybe 2 weeks or so. I consistently did it every day, and I just could not believe the change in my stress and my anxiety levels. I've
Yeah.
had issues with anxiety my whole life. After I had my second child, I had postpartum anxiety, and so it was insane to me just by doing the meditation every day for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
just how much better I felt. And it's now something like I am like obsessed with. Like I do it every day. I'm reading books on it. Like it's just been such a helpful thing for me. And then of course the yoga too, with it's like the combination of all these
Yeah.
things. It's just the best.
That's so great to
Yeah.
hear, Roiann.
I'm so happy you mentioned meditation, Roiann. It's a huge thing. And a lot of time people think that you have to be in some certain church on the top of the mountains like a monk to do meditation. It's so much simpler and easier, right? You can just, if
Yes.
you allocate 5, 10 minutes to start with, just to be with yourself in silence, and it's just so powerful. And now so many actual scientific researches are done on meditation, and what you expressed, that's exactly, it's proven now that meditation absolutely able to rewire our brain, and that's one of the main things for healing anxiety and depression. And it's really a lot of work is done on that, because a lot of times, again, people think meditation is some woo-woo thing or something, again, not tangible. For people, it's hard to understand things which can't be like measured, but now it's even being measured for those who are quite skeptical and thinks that's something woo-woo. It's just seem like breathing, seem like walking is just so healthy and so needed to just clear the mind and then focus on what's happening inside. So,
I read something the other day, which I loved, that silence isn't just the space between two sounds, it's an inner quietness of the heart. And it's so true, like in this day and age where, there's just noise everywhere and distractions, that most of us just never sit down for that, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes a day, like you started doing, Roiann. It's just so beneficial. And like we always say, and our whole philosophy and ethos about wellness, as you well know, is that all health starts in our heads. So if we're only scratching the surface, just eating well, which is great, and moving our body and working out, which is great, it's still quite superficial. Unless we do that deep down inner work, we're never going to really transform and evolve, and most importantly, see those sustainable results. So watching you embrace that, Roiann, has just been such a great joy for us. So really well
Well,
done.
it's like you all say, and I've seen you say this a lot across all the platforms too, is like weight loss, your weight is just I believe it's like just a symptom of the like
not the
that's not
problem.
the real issue. Yeah, that's just a symptom of really what's going on inside. And like I think you have to really you got to get in touch with yourself and what's going on inside of yourself to really make any kind of long lasting change. And I know with the meditation too, for me, like I'm the type of person, like I'm very busy and I'm very driven and I'm constantly doing things all the
Yeah.
time. I'm go, go, go. And so for me, what I love most about the meditation and even the yoga too, is that it forces me. I have to slow down. I have to take a minute. I have to just be in the present moment, because a lot of the times I'm constantly, what's next? What am I doing next? So I love that it's forced me to do that. And now I find myself just focusing more on the present moment and not just constantly like, what's next kind of thing.
Fantastic to hear. And Roiann, I just wanted to touch on the weight loss and more importantly, your attachment to the scales, which you had initially, and how you started detaching. Yeah, and you're doing so well with that as well. But it affects so many women we speak with that it's a really important topic. I think that's going to inspire people as well. So I mean, you've lost 18 or 19 pounds now, which is absolutely phenomenal. You've got an awesome downward trend. This is a lifestyle for you now, so you're just enjoying it so much and letting that weight loss happen as a natural byproduct, which is what we want. But how has your mindset changed and your attitude towards the scales? Because when we met 4 months ago, you were quite clingy and attached to seeing that number come down. How's that shifted over time?
It's shifted quite a bit, because like in the beginning, I was did not do well with the scale. I was constantly focused on it. I would even like get anxiety thinking about when I would have to weigh, because I was worried about if it was going to show a loss or not. And it was just, I mean, I remember we had a call in the beginning, I think, when I just was just so distraught over the scale and everything. But I think just over time, it's just gotten less and less of an issue, because I think these habits that I have developed are just so consistent now. They're so ingrained into what I do, as far as how I eat, how I work out, the meditation, the yoga, that it's just now so part of my life that I know that this is what I'm doing. And if maybe I didn't lose weight one week on the scale, it's okay, because I know I'm still going to be consistent and just keep doing what I'm doing. And I feel at this point, I've gone too far. I've come too far to go backwards. I don't want to go backwards. And so I'm not going to get upset just because I don't see a number and then think, oh my gosh, I would, it's not that important anymore. I know it'll come. I know it'll happen. But it's nice to see how much stronger my body is now, how the different things I can do. That's just more satisfying right now, I think. So I know the weight will come off. I'm just not worried about when or how fast or whatever.
Love it. What a shift as well. Like, that's
huge.
Speaking with you now compared to our first consultation, first time we met, Roiann, it's like chalk and cheese, night and day, the difference. It's amazing.
Yeah, and you emphasize exactly what we try to tell people, that when we too busy to feel awesome and live this lifestyle, we don't have this attachment to a scale anymore, because like you said, you don't care anymore if that week shows a bit more, a bit less, because you know that you're doing right things, because you're enjoying what you're doing and you know you're going in the right direction. It's not like I don't care about the scale and I just sit on the couch and do nothing, but it's very opposite. It's like I am so busy enjoying and feeling awesome that that scale, it just doesn't mean anything to me. And we always say this is just medium to long term indicator. It doesn't show, especially for us women, our hormones, what period of a cycle we are at, water intake, sodium, our muscle gain, which obviously weighs. All these things are not shown on the scale, right? And if people focus only on that one number, it's just really detrimental, because it doesn't show full picture in general. So why would scale have this, I don't know, power to make us feel anxious or happy? It shouldn't be that way. But again, it comes from such a deep conditioning for us women that we have to see this number. And I think that's why this inner work, unconditioning work, is so important, because we realize with time that the scale is just one of the many numbers, and actually totally not the most important one. So yeah, so happy to see the shift in your journey too.
Yeah. And Roiann, what would you say to someone? What would be your main bit of advice for someone else that has been struggling for years, trying all these different diets or different approaches, but not seeing the sustainable results? what would, and perhaps thinking about jumping on board with us or online coaching, what would be your advice for someone in your situation that you were in, say, 4 months ago when we met?
I would say 100%. I mean, you need to focus on the inner work, the mental work. You have to. That's just the biggest part of it for me was that, and I think for
Yeah.
everybody else too. So I think you have to have that component in whatever program you're going to do, and obviously your program has everything that you need. I mean, anybody that's kind of on the fence about it, I mean, honestly, I would just say sometimes you have to take a risk, you have to take a chance, and this is going to be something that's going to be worth your time. It's going to pay off. You guys are so wonderful. You're so great. You're always there. The community you built is just awesome. There's support all the time. And it's really just such a wonderfully designed program. And I'm like already like, I know, like I'm still in the middle of the second part, but I'm like, I don't even want to end the second part of it. You know, I know I'm going to have to fly on my own at some point, but it's just been a really great program. And I think if anybody that's trying to decide, I say you need to take a chance, and you're not going to be disappointed at all. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It means a lot.
And what was your mindset like about the whole online coaching thing, Roiann? Because obviously you were quite desperate. Were you thinking, oh, what have I got to lose? Or were you thinking, did you know like how this could work for you? Did you know much about it?
Basically, were you skeptical or were you not?
Yeah.
yeah, I really didn't know much about it, and I wasn't like too skeptical. I think I was at the point where I was like so desperate that I was like, I need to do something completely out of the box that's completely different than I've ever done before, because I've tried everything else.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm gonna have to just try this, take a leap of faith, and see how it goes. So I wasn't too skeptical. And like I said, I had felt just already like a connection. I was like, all right, I think these are the right people. But yeah, so for me, for the online part of it, I think it's too because I am an online professor. I do a lot of work online. That part wasn't foreign to me. So I was like, okay, I know it could work because you know I teach and do all this stuff with students anyway. But I think I was so low that I needed to do something completely different. So
amazing. And I think you said it there as well, like so many people try the same thing over and over. It might be called something different, but it's the same approach. And it was Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So I think you summed it up perfectly. If you want different sustainable results, you've got to do something different than you've done before with all these fad diets and, you know, temporary things with no longevity.
And the most important thing is to work on the mindset alongside of obviously nutrition and moving the body. So that was a big piece for you. And to be honest, that was a big piece for almost all the clients we worked with. So we know how important it is. And we're so happy to see that worked for you and you having this lifestyle now. I think you mentioned before we started talking here on interview. I think you said that now it's your lifestyle, right? Something you want to continue doing, and you don't even think about, this is like a program, this is stop, this is end. Like it's just a lifestyle, isn't it?
It is. It's just I love the workouts that I do. I don't view that as like, oh, I have to work out. I mean, yeah, some days, but I do it anyway. But no, I love the workouts. I love the yoga. I love everything about it. I don't feel like as far as eating goes, I don't feel like I'm restricted in any way. I don't feel like I can't eat good food or things like that. I can still eat things that I want to eat. I know that it's healthy. I know that it's good for my body. So I don't feel deprived in any way. I do feel like it's very sustainable for sure.
Amazing.
Fantastic. Well, Roiann, we just wanted to say super well done. Your journey is so inspiring. You've worked on yourself in all areas of wellness and you deserve all the success that you're getting now. And we're just so grateful to be part of your journey. So thanks so much for coming on and sharing your thoughts and insights with everyone else. And yeah, keep up the great work and we'll speak soon.
Speak soon.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Bye.